Happy 11th of December. For many people, Christmas time equals elves, and that's certainly the case in our home. I have ceramic and fabric elves sitting on the shelves, pinecone figurines to hang on the Christmas tree, elf-shaped cushions that play jingle bells when you press the hand, and paper elves hanging in the window. There's even a little cut-out elf that's found its way into a picture frame. As a child, I was sometimes allowed to leave a bowl of rice pudding in the attic for the elves. And when I woke up in the morning, the pudding had been eaten. In many families with children, it's common for mischievous elves to move in during December. They create a bit of extra magic and mischief during the festive season. Parents come up with little unexplained surprises throughout the month to the delight of their children. For example, they might paint tiny footprints on floors and tables. Perhaps the tracks lead from the terrace door to a little elf door mounted on the wall. Or maybe one evening, the pasta has magically turned purple. Sometimes the kids' favorite teddy bear gets wrapped up in Christmas paper, or their gloves end up in the fridge. Of course, it's important that the parents are just as surprised by the elves' antics as the children are. Many schools also have a Nisser in December for the younger classes. It's the Danish version of Secret Santa. I asked my friend Mathilde, who's a primary school teacher, if it's something they do at her school.
I teach the 8th grade at Mørkeskole. And well, in the bigger classes, we don't have the usual Nisseordning. We have more like a Christmas presents calendar sort of thing going on. So we set a budget, like 30-50 kroners, nothing more. It doesn't have to be big, it's just for fun. And then everyone buy a present that you would like to receive yourself, obviously, and it has to be a good present for everyone. Again, candy is always good, yeah. It's of course it's a random student who is picked out each day, and this year we are doing it so that we spin a wheel. A number will be picked on this wheel. The number will be referring to an envelope hanging from the ceiling. We take the envelope down. In it there is a piece of paper, and on this piece of paper we have 3 leads. That is referring to a certain student. So their characteristics, sort of, something that's special just for them. And so the students, they guess who it is, and it's always fun. Obviously, it's only the third lead that really takes it home. So that's a lot of fun. Then that person will get the present that is numbered for that specific day.
But I'm curious, who gets to write down the 3 characteristics of that pupil in question? Like, what could it be? The person is nice, or the person likes to wear jeans, or what could be written in those envelopes?
Oh yeah, it could be a lot of stuff. Teenagers are kind of... their own person, right? So, but it could be like this person owns a pair of pink pants, or this person is such a good swimmer that even the fish asks for advice, or this person always have protein bars in his or her school bag. Yeah.
Okay. They sound very innocent. And who writes down those words or those sentences?
It's us teachers, so that no student would know, because they're not always the best to keep a secret. So it's fun if they don't know anything.
What about yourself? So it sounds like you had a Secret Santa tradition when you went to school. Is that true?
Yes, that's true. We had it for quite a few years, actually. Yeah. And back when I was young, there weren't that many rules about it, so you could kind of do whatever you want. But it's also, well, it's a bit risky because, of course, you can say if you don't want to participate. But some still participate, but so they receive maybe a lot of candy, and good stuff, and then they don't give that back to the person they have to do something for.
Yeah.
So that can be kind of unfair, and so there was always one or two in the class that were a bit lazy to be Nisser. weren't that great at it, actually. Yeah. I think that's how it is in every class. Maybe a bit annoying way to be teased could be your school bag being filled with rice. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. And it's just everywhere. Yeah. Ugh.
Are you speaking from experience?
Kind of. When I was little. Yeah. It's an old tradition. Yeah.
I remember that we had a Secret Santa tradition for several years. Our class teacher put all our names on slips of paper into a big bowl. Everyone had to draw a name, and whoever you picked was the person you'd be a Nisser for. That meant giving them small gifts and playing a few pranks throughout December. It was a bit of a gamble. Some kids complained loudly about who they picked and tried to swap names. Others were just nice to one another. The girls were usually good at it. The boys, not always. I remember being a Nisser for a girl in my class once. I'd leave her little chocolate centers or candy canes on her desk or in her school bag when she wasn't there. That same year, a boy was my Nisser. I think it was in the 6th grade. And the only thing I got all December was a Tuborg Christmas beer. It was a different time. Less regulation, less control back then. I remember my older brother thought it was hilarious. But I also remember being quite upset because it felt like bullying disguised as a game. Now, elves aren't always associated with positive things, though. In 2010, a free church pastor in Løkken hung a fabric elf from a noose on the gable of his church. The elf held a sign that read, "We renounce the devil and all his works and all his ways." According to him, elves are evil creatures, devilish demons representing the forces of darkness. That's what he teaches his own young children too. So, when people decorate with elves, he claims it's actually devil worship. He's now known as the elf hater, Nissehaderen, if you ever hear Danes talking about him. The elf, however, didn't hang there for long. It was stolen by a local resident who later turned himself into the police. The police didn't pursue the matter any further. Have a wonderful 11th of December, whether or not you're celebrating with elves. I'll catch you again tomorrow.